Today's been one of my not as good days. And now I'm going to play some of this to make it not necessarily better, but I guess sillier and more, I don't know, self-consciency. So we'll start here wherever the save file left me. Last time the save file left me a few lines of dialogue behind the time I actually saved at. This is Karumi. She's, I guess, around 16, 17 years old. That would mean that 10 years ago she was about 7 years old. This is nothing. We have some evidence that she has had a rough past with cigarettes, or somebody who is known to smoke cigarettes, and she's had a rough past with Karumi and Karumi's older sister. Karumi's older sister has lots of syllables. I don't remember the name right off the top of my head. This is Yuka. Yuka has suggested a couple times that she has known the main character, or the player character Makoto, from some time before, but the main character does not remember her. How much before? Well, I would guess 10 years, because when she's kind of randomly brought it up, right? We made this deal where if whoever won in tennis, then that person could require of the other to do whatever they wanted. And she said that maybe she'd ask us to make good on that deal, or ask the main character to make that good on that deal, maybe in a day, maybe in a week, maybe in 10 years. Which I take as some sort of hint that something happened between them 10 years ago. Because the main character is around 20 and Yuka's about the same age, they would probably be around 10 years old at the time. Now, I wouldn't be able to recognize anybody that I knew when I was 10, mostly because their appearance by now would have changed so significantly, but also because I don't really remember a whole lot of people I knew from when I was 10. I remember a few, but they still would have changed so much since then, I wouldn't be able to recognize them. Nor do I have any desire to particularly go back and meet them anymore. So, it's kind of strange when games do that. It's not really the most realistic plot point. Anyway, let's just go right into it. This character looks really familiar when she pops up, and that's only because she looks like Maggie from a webcomic called Ava's Demon. Anyway, standing there is a girl with her hair tied up in a ponytail. My name is Asakura. Is the manager here? The girl scans all of us, even though she's not really that tall. It feels like I'm being looked down upon. Well, they had a good sprite design there. Yes, that would be me. Izumi-san answers with a vacant expression. It's as if she's not intimidated by this rich-looking girl. She's really something. What is the meaning of this? She suddenly shouts. We're all frozen in place. Perhaps she's realized how uneasy we are, for the girl talks in a deep breath. She seems to have calmed down a bit. Excuse me, my name is Saki Asakura. I'm from the Asakura Summer House. She's another group leader. Her name is Saki. A summer home, huh? She doesn't just look wealthy, she is wealthy. Just to mention this, the intro cutscene shows a character with purple hair. I haven't seen far enough into this game to know who that character is. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the appearance of the player character, because the player character is indeed given a name. So that's it. Thank you for your continued patronage. It's not like I always use this place. Where's the pizza that I ordered? Huh? What are you talking about? My pizza. How many hours do you think I've been waiting for it? How many? 6 hours. 6 hours. Just what kind of shop are you running here? You waited that long? Seems there's people out there with quite the free time on their hands. I wasn't talking to you two. I wasn't talking to you either. And I was talking to myself. Don't talk until I say so, got it? Huh? Saki gives me a dirty look. In response to that intense glare, I talk back to her right away. Okay, bring up the text file. This is probably going to be a very unrealistic line of dialogue, but whatever. I decided to talk back to her without a moment's delay. What's the big deal anyway? What was that? I'm just saying, I'm sorry about your pizza, but if you were this angry, you should have just called earlier. A completely sound argument. Saki falters, but only briefly. Soon enough, she gets even more angry. What the hell? You don't even know anything. This is why I don't want to talk to you. This is this character, I guess. Cool dudes. That's enough. I said this earlier, but I'm not in the mood to argue with you. My business right now is only with the manager there. Whatever I say is probably useless. Time to put it into this pointless debate. Yeah, I get you, but you know. You shouldn't be so rude, shouting like that towards strangers. Ah, there. I don't give into any sort of upper-class repression. And besides, those are my honest feelings. If she just shuts up, then she might even pass as a refined young lady. I would care less about that either. Whether she's regained some of her composure or not, it seems to have decided any further argument is pointless. She settles on giving me one last angry glare before moving towards the counter. Giving me a brief glance, Yuka takes a deep breath and stares at Saki. She looks surprised. I hear Okuhiko snort as if to say, "Humph." Saki doesn't seem very pleased by my words. Naturally, Haruka has been looking downwards this whole time. What's going on? Saki immediately leans her body forward to the counter. It looks like she's going to continue nagging Izumi-san. So what did you do for those 6 hours? I waited, of course. 6 straight hours? Hell no. Even I don't have that kind of time. Izumi-san is trying to be polite, but her tone is, how do I put it, listless. Anyway, her words only seem to fuel Saki's irritation. Even I told it that. Yes, I told it to make do with just what was there. But it fully knew that I had ordered pizza, even though it cannot understand what I say. Yes. Hey, what's she talking about? However, Izumi-san just nods at everything she says. So I didn't have any other choice but to play around and wait. I see. I don't understand. Does Izumi-san really get it? Just then Kurumi approaches her sister. Oni-chan, you understand what she's saying? Yeah, I want to ask her that too. Izumi-san whispers back to her. This is drawn out and takes way longer than it needs to take. It's fine. In times like this, all you have to do is that. Huh? What do you mean? It can't be helped, but let's just hear her out for now. This is also a lot of awkward translation from Japanese. These types just want to talk. Even then, they go home. Until then, just endure it, okay? I see, that's quite an impressive way to handle it. But why do we have to put up with it? Because there was a mistake in her delivery, so... What? Kurumi definitely delivered it! Don't shout. If you don't make a mistake, then why did it end up like this? You're terrible, Oni-chan. You're doubting Kurumi. But she said it never arrived. It did too. Kurumi delivered it to an Asakura-san. I suddenly realized what's going on. It was the pizza from lunch. Kurumi had said she was bringing it to an Asakura-san. And so drawn out. And then Okuhiko. I look at Okuhiko. The guy looks antsy. He must understand what's going on as well. At that moment, Saki strikes the counter. Don't talk until I say so. Kurumi did deliver it to Asakura-san. She points toward Okuhiko. Okuhiko instantly turns his head away as if to say, oh crap. Just what the hell does that mean? Saki glares at Okuhiko. Okuhiko abruptly stops in his tracks. It seems like he was trying to run away. I won't cover for Okuhiko. No way. Okay. He's the one who caused this whole mess. No, everything may have started with Yuka's cooking. Saki immediately closes in on Okuhiko when suddenly Yuka speaks up. Saki, could it be that you're that Saki Asakura? Remember we were friends in middle school. Yuka was friends with everybody at some point. How can I prove it, right? Don't you remember? We were the ones who drew the rough sketches of the magician's portrait. Yuka? It really is you. It's been so long. Just how many years has it been? I haven't seen you for 5 years since I entered K University's senior high school. Because I have no creativity. This is so nostalgic. What's up with you? So did you really go to K University? Listen, why don't you just say Hodunk-yu directly? Of course, but Yuka, what are you doing on this island? You don't live here, do you? No way, I'm here for my college's seminar camp. I'm staying at the lodge and I need to save up to see the backlot. The lodge on top of the hill road. I'm staying at the lodge on top of the hill road surrounded by the forest. If you say so, translators. Well then, doesn't that mean you're near my summer house? The two of them had suddenly become excited. According to Saki, it seems she comes here every year to stay at her aforementioned summer house. She says that she's been here ever since her exams break in February. It seems she's relaxing here until her next semester begins. There's a big difference between us, as I think that Izumi-san stands in between Yuka and Saki. Well then, I'll treat you to dinner tonight. It'll be a celebration for your reunion. Huh? No way. That's too much. Wait a second, I came here to clear up this issue about my pizza. Then you can consider this my apology. Izumi-san gives a sidelong glance to the now dumbfounded Saki, then looks towards us. Will you eat with them, too? I guess she wasn't talking to me. I don't know what to say. I feel awkward about someone we only just met going this far for us. On the other hand, if we return to the lodge, all that awaits us is Yuka's murderous cooking. What should I do? I gaze at the hesitant Haruka. Haruka suddenly averts her eyes. I'll pass is what I think she's trying to say, but her mouth doesn't work. If that's the case, then just as long as I think that. Hey, come on and eat. Terumi interrupts my thoughts as she grabs my arm with both of her hands, tugging it. She looks like a kid begging for a toy. Even though we've only... Oh gee. Even though we've only all just met, it'll get lonely if you just leave us now. It's okay, isn't it? That's right. There's no need to reserve yourselves. She's following Karumi's lead. It's just... Nevertheless, I'm worried about Haruka's behavior from earlier. Or is it... Could it be that you don't want to eat my cooking? Izumi-san still smiles while saying this, however her troubled eyes betray her. No, I'd be delighted if you would treat us. There's no way I can refuse her. Then you are all right with it? It would be kind of troublesome to go back to the lodge to make preparations, so I'm glad about it. Hey, you're okay with this too, right, Saki? We'll be walking back home together anyway. That's true. Well, you've convinced me. Alright, then it's decided. By the way, Izumi-san, what do you have to eat here? Let's see. Her face briefly wavers, but then immediately regains its shine. We have paella and Italian salad, as well as pumpkin soup. Bacon. Okay, I do not actually know how to pronounce this. Is it romance? That'll be paella. If it's Japanese, well, it probably would not be spelled like that. Whatever. Making paella will be impossible. I blurt this out unconsciously. Impossible? Could it that you're doubting my abilities? No way, I would never do that. Then why is it impossible? Because you're short on rice, right? Huh? Surprised, Izumi-san checks the rice jar on the corner of the counter. It's true, there's only about 5 ounces of rice left. Oni-chan, is that group from lunch? It was that group from lunch. Kurumi abruptly shouts this. I see. Now that you mentioned it, you're right. I completely forgot about it, but earlier today there was a group of 10 that ate curry. Huh. But Makoto-kun, how did you know about that? Because. Huh? Because what? Nani? What am I saying? Now that I think about it, how the hell did I know about that? No, I just had a feeling that was the case. That's the truth. Honestly, I really did just have a feeling that that was the case. Besides, there shouldn't need to be any reason anyway. Oh. Azumi-san tilts her head in confusion. Everyone else is staring at me questioningly. But it doesn't really matter, right? Kurumi's voice draws the others' great gazes away from me. Anyway, it's a good thing we noticed this so quickly. If we hadn't noticed it until we started cooking, it would have been too late, right? Everyone nods in agreement. But what should we do about the rice now? That's the real question. Here's an idea. What if we go buy some? I immediately offer to help. I guess it's because I feel the urge to get out of this place. After all, you're the ones who offered to treat us to dinner, so why don't I at least help out a little? But that's asking too much. No, it isn't. It's no problem at all. I mean, I volunteered. No one asked me anything. Izumi-san, there must be preparations and other stuff you have to do. You can take care of all that before I return. Are you sure? Yes. Then please excuse me. May I accept your offer? Of course. Well then, I'll also help out any way I can. I really did not bother to try to voice these at all. Huh? What? What? I'll act as Izumi-san's assistant chef, and I'll also cook a dish or something. Okuhiko, Haruka, and I all freeze at those words. You can't do that, Yuka. Why not? Well, just pick this one. Because you're going shopping with me. Don't go deciding stuff on your own. Nope, that's not it. What I'm saying is, I really need your help. Huh? To be honest, I don't know about the differences, but I know nothing about the different types of rice. I also do not care about the different types of rice. Isn't that any kind of rice okay? Of course not. If I did something like going and buying fatty rice, that would be something that I couldn't undo. Just like made something up. Right, Okuhiko? You're absolutely right. Right, Haruka? Yes. See, so that's my reason. Yeah, as if, like, Yuka knows the difference between different types of rice. It seems rather unlikely, but, well, I guess I could help. It could happen. Right, don't you agree? Well then, let's hurry up and go now. Without waiting for Yuka's reply, I forcibly push her by the back outside the shop. Well then, ready to go? Just take a step forward. Wait a minute! What's wrong, Izumi-san? Sorry, I forgot to tell you something. We have a bike by the side of the shop, please take it. A bike? Well, even though it's not far on foot, you still have a lot to bring back, right? True, carrying 22 pounds of rice while walking does seem like a pain. The key is attached to it. Well then, you two take care. Will do. Can I ask you to do one more thing? Could you also buy some saffron? If you can't find any, that's fine. Just like throw out there this Middle Eastern spice that's extremely expensive and tastes like bathwater. No, actually, I have not tried saffron. Anyway. What's saffron? It's a seasoning that you put on paella to make it look and smell nice. Huh? I'm surprised that Yuka, out of all people, would know something like that. Okay, got it. So somehow saffron is going to show up as some integral element of the plot. Anyway. Thank you so much. Somehow Izumi-san seems to be the type of person who can... something or other. Who can be a little forgetful. That's what I think. There's just one more thing. The eastern skies are completely engulfed in twilight. Though my cheeks are being chapped by the cold wind, I don't feel very cold since I'm pedaling. I take in the fresh evening air as I pedal leisurely. Art assets. Hey. Yuka's voice pipes up from behind me. Actually, this would be really difficult, but we'll just go with it. The player character's hair is obscured from view. How did you really know? Know what? Geez, don't play dumb. Yuka is riding on the bike's luggage carrier, her legs dangling off the side of the bike. Yuka's legs being mentioned again. I guess Yuka has legs. That is very relatable. I also have legs. Instead of clinging to the pack like I expected, she instead held onto the edges of the luggage carrier. Ah, who am I kidding? Only girls in fiction do something like that, right? This is a fiction. They're ice, how do you know about it? Do know. You're playing dumb again! No, seriously, I don't know. I'm wondering that myself. Do you have a sixth sense? Huh? It's the morphogenetic field. Could it be that you actually have X-ray vision? X-ray vision, huh? It feels completely different from that. If I did have X-ray vision, then there would have been no need to look inside the rice bin. Besides, I can think of much more interesting things to see through. Such as... Yuka slaps the back of my head in jest. Well, just be... well, you don't... whatever. This is sort of playing out like a scene in a slapstick comedy. Not really. Well then, how about this? Maybe you knew beforehand that Izumi-san would panic later when she realized there was no rice left. In other words, you had the power to receive premonitions. The power to receive premonitions. Just then a memory flashes through my mind. It was when Haruka fell on the beach. It's true that I did see Haruka fall down before she actually did. I knew it was going to happen in advance. But it couldn't be. Just kidding, there's no way that'd be it. Huh? Well, then isn't it about time you tell me the truth? I told you that. After that, Yuka kept on badgering me about it until we entered the shopping district. I didn't have an answer for her. How was I able to do those things? Right, saffron and fresh cream, this is everything. Currently, Yuka is checking the contents of a large grocery bag on the ground. Right, Izumi-san's last request was for fresh cream. We had to move that piece of information to later, which does not change the length of the game whatsoever, but needlessly keeps you in suspense. Sheesh, what type of cafe doesn't stock up on fresh cream? And there's also the pizza incident from this afternoon. That shop has quite the sloppy business policy. Well then, let's go back. Yeah, everyone's waiting. I cram the groceries into the bike's basket. The front wheel bends horribly from the weight. I'm now regretting this. What, you may ask? Bringing Yuka along. She doesn't weigh much, but those 22 pounds of rice sure do. My thigh muscles are burning. Is this too much pain even normal? Yes. So apparently... Yuka weighs less than 22 pounds? No, I don't know if... like, coming back to the tennis incident where, it's really difficult to imagine doing a Leo serve that goes over the fence. You'd have to have a tremendous amount of backspin on the serve, or serve extremely high arced, which doesn't fit the description of how Yuka was supposedly serving. The game said she was serving like she was hitting home runs, so they'd be very low arced. It's very difficult to bike with an unassisted person on your it's an unassisting person on your bike. I would get I would not get very far trying to do that. Good luck! Yuku calls out from behind me. I would not say that. Okay, pick carefree. My abbreviations are getting more and more terse. Geez, she's so carefree. I take my hands off the handlebars for a bit. Just then, the rear wheel slips and collapses from the pressure. Geez, watch the road. I hate to see your driving. When she says this, Yuka wraps her arms around my back. I feel two soft objects. Okay, they're gonna do this thing. Okay, did it have suppressed dialogue? Yeah, it had suppressed dialogue. I didn't catch it, so I'm gonna miss the little Easter egg. Or that little hint that I'm supposed to see. Alright, it's ready. As Izumi-san says this, she places down many different dishes. I can see just by looking that they're all of superb quality. This is a charming rice aurora coming from the steaming pumpkin soup. The Italian... Wait, did it say a rice aroma coming from the pumpkin soup? It's rich. Good. I can't read. The Italian salad is garnished with dressing, and the plates of garlic and olive oil have an amazing smell. There is a wide variety of fish included with however you pronounce that, many adorned with a characteristic seashore scent of bouillabaisse. My mouth quickly begins to water like crazy as I breathe in those delicious scents. Let's eat. I instantly begin to stuff my face with the steaming pumpkin soup. Man, my software like filters so much of that. Like if I just into the mic, it like filters it like super quickly. I feel like I'm going to faint. It's so good. There's a world of difference between this and the food Yuka made for lunch, if you could call that food. The difference between the two is overwhelming. What defines food? Well, I presume that it has something to do with the macros, but I don't know how much macros is required for something to be considered food. I guess it depends from person to person. It's relative. It's not a very clearly defined thing, food. Izumi-san, this is amazing. I eagerly shout this. I'm glad you like it. Izumi-san happily watches us eat. With this, even you can't complain, right, Saki? Yuka then speaks to Saki. Well, it's not bad. As she says this, she eats seconds after seconds enthusiastically. Since her pizza never arrived, she might not have eaten any lunch. Well, if this were English, we'd say seconds and thirds, but maybe they translated something in Japanese to seconds that doesn't actually literally translate to the second, like number 2, but anyway. As Saki is eating heartily, Izumi-san is indeed satisfied. Diagonally from me, Haruka and Kurumi are sitting next to each other. Hey, isn't Uni-chan's cooking the best? The smiling Kurumi asks Haruka this. Just then, Haruka suddenly stops moving, and then quietly places the spoon in her right hand on top of the plate. All of us fall silent. What's wrong, Haruka? I ask her this, but Haruka's lips remain firmly shut and don't move. She suddenly dies. Kurumi observes Haruka's expression with wonder. I'm sorry. She says this in a quiet voice that's like a whisper. Are you not feeling well? Okuhiko asks this in concern. Yes. Her face certainly looks pretty pale. Now that I think about it, when we got here, it felt like Haruka was acting a little weird. I'm really sorry about this. Haruka leaves her seat as she says this. Are you alright? Worried, Izumi-san nestles over next to Haruka. Haruka leans on Izumi-san's arm as she is led far away from the table and quietly sits down in the seat at the farthest corner of the counter. Did Kurumi say something wrong? Kurumi looks puzzled as if she doesn't know what to do. Her bright large eyes are still filled with innocence. That's not it, it's alright, Kurumi-chan. Chan, it's not your fault. Yuka's gentle voice dispels the gloomy atmosphere for the time being. We return to sitting around the huge table, fully enjoying our wonderful dinner. Haruka has also calmed down and is now sitting in her original seat. Izumi-san clears everything away when we finished and serves us some after-dinner black tea. Is this enough tea? Izumi-san makes sure we all have teacups. Just then, I'm really sorry about all the trouble. Okihiko says this. It doesn't seem like there's much shyness in the way he said that. By the way, Izumi-san, you said this earlier, didn't you? When it's nighttime, the shop is both a restaurant and a bar. I did. What of it? Then could it be that you closed the shop earlier today for us? Huh? Now that he mentions it, he's right. In the time it took us to eat, there hasn't been a single customer. Then does this mean you reserved the place just for us? Wrong. Karumi suddenly bursts out into laughter, holding her sides. We've been completely open this whole time. This is normal for the shop. In other words, we're open but not getting any business. Well, it's night. True, but we don't get any customers even during the day, you know. Well, it's off-season. Izumi-san doesn't look happy to admit it. But it's strange that this place doesn't get much business in spite of the great food. That's because almost everyone goes to Tsuyika. Tsuyika? You can see it from here. It's that huge building. Looking in the direction Karumi's pointing, we can see a brightly lit white wall structure in the dark. Is that the distance or the darkness? I didn't finish reading it. Darkness. That's Tsukiya Hotel. It's the shop's main competition. So if you transliterate Russian into English, if you have that TS sound, it's literally a TS at the beginning of a word. It's like you say the word sits, followed by the word Sitsukiya, right? So you say Tsukiya. I don't know if you transliterate Japanese, it's literally like Tsukiya, but It may look extravagant, but it's actually an economically priced hotel. On the top floor is a viewpoint restaurant, which is not only cheaper than here, but the view is simply amazing. But it has no dignity. Saki boldly states this. The scenery here is just as good. That place is nothing but gaudy. All they have is what's called affectation. Right. That's very, very, very true. Impressive, Saki-chan. You have a good eye. Izumi-san showers Saki with praise. No, it's not like I'm defending the shop or anything. However, it's obvious she's lying. She dislikes being agreed with, so she's denying it. She's definitely just the kind of person who says the opposite of what she means. Izumi-san smiles cheerfully as her hands fiddle with a teaspoon. She seems to understand the true meaning behind Saki's words. Besides, they've got a heated pool there as well. Karumi seems to be the only serious one here. Wait, let me check the possessive. Yeah, they made Karumi possessive, that's a mistake. Immediately after hearing that random statement, we all spontaneously laugh out loud. Then let's sneak in and check it out. To tell the truth, I was the one who said that, as an icebreaker. Nearly everyone agrees, but there's still one person who relentlessly protests. Saki? Oh, it's Izumi. Okay. There, you've seen it, right? Now let's hurry on back. Izumi-san's hesitation is a little surprising. Then again, I'm also surprised that the others all agree with this. Well, trespassing will be prosecuted. Or the joke goes, trespassing will be persecuted. I didn't know that was a joke. I literally would read the signs wrong when I was a child. So I reinvented the whole violators will be persecuted thing. Then again, I'm also surprised that the others all agree to this. I only meant the proposal as a joke. Even so, to think we'd actually be doing this. Somehow this is a lot easier than I thought it'd be. Yuka says this. Anyhow, she's whispering. I can tell she's excited. Well, what did I tell you? I respond proudly. This pool doesn't have a fence. Instead, it's surrounded by hedges, so after we found a gap, it was extremely easy for us to sneak in. Unfortunately, there's no one else here except for us. I know. Yuka's voice rises as if she's just thought of something. I'll get my swimsuit. What? After all, we broke in successfully, so it would be a complete waste if we didn't go swimming. Well then, I'll go back to the lodge and get my swimsuit. Tell the others for me. Hey, Yuka, wait! Yuka leaves the pool without hearing me. I'll go back to the lodge. Easier said than done. I think a round trip will take nearly an hour. Does she think we're just going to stay here that long? Man, that Yuka, she's so selfish sometimes. As I'm thinking, Saki comes over. Suddenly, she starts talking to me. It seems that all Japanese hotels are the same. Huh? The manager here clearly doesn't understand the beauty of the beach. Saki's eyes are so passionate that they're scary. No matter how hard humans try, they can't match up to natural beauty. Interesting, so she admits that humans are not natural. Let's do you're right, but that's kind of doesn't mean anything. You're right. For the time being, I'll agree with her. Aren't I? These things are nothing more than worldly recreational facilities. Glad you get it. Satisfied, Saki leaves me with those words. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if that conversation is going to have a point, or whether it was just random filler. Maybe you could say this whole game's random filler. However, the truth is, I can't really sympathize with her. All I can think of is how romantic this... Quite uncharacteristic of me. Well, based on all the previous dialogue in this game, no, it is actually not. Although I would use the word romantic. Exactly. By romantic, I mean the pool. The lights at the bottom make the water look like it's glowing. The scattering bundle of lights that shine to the sky from the bottom of the pool make it closely resemble the gates of heaven. The tip of the light passes through the water like a dazzling, expanding country of light. Well, I guess this is nice. Okuhiko suddenly appears and says this, but he speaks in a somewhat affected tone. Thanks to that, I am brought back to reality. Well, now do you understand what Kurumi meant? This time Kurumi speaks. I respond to her question with a smile. Wait, where's Haruka? Glancing around, I quickly spot Haruka. She's sitting alone by the poolside, dipping her feet in the water. So there is some implication that Haruka has some sort of disease, because she tends to not feel well. She suddenly stumbles, and she's showing signs of resigning or giving up, like she has some sort of terminal disease that she knows is going to kill her soon. But, you know, I don't know anything about that. Every time she moves her slender legs, she creates tiny ripples that spread. The flickering, wandering light reflects and shines. So much. Yes, Shakespeare. I slowly walk towards her as if I'm being drawn in. I say nothing and silently sit down next to her. With the exception of the sound of splashing water, we are wrapped up in stillness. Geez, come on, try and catch Kurumi. Hold on, Kurumi, don't shout. On the opposite side of the pool, the two happy sisters are playing together. As I think the gentle evening breeze brushes against... Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just... This is the better choice. Say nothing. Just be awkward. Say nothing, be awkward. I say nothing and just look at Haruka's face. She doesn't seem to notice I'm sitting next to her, as she continues to dip her tiptoes in the water. Splash. Splash. Gazing at her face from the side, I suddenly notice there's something different in the way she's carrying herself. How do I put it in words? It's like she's broken free of her bonds, as if she's into it. Okay. Whatever. This feels good. Huh? I'm caught off guard by your sudden statement. I don't quite know how to reply. Well, it's more than that. With those words, Yeah, I don't like reading this kind of dialogue, so I'm just gonna kind of let it. Just you can read this. The shimmering lights dance before my eyes, blurring them. The swaying water makes me dizzy. The country of light feels like it could swallow me up at any time. My field of vision slowly begins to grow hazy. A drifting sense of fatigue wraps up my body. My consciousness becomes faint. Just where am I? Suddenly, I come to my senses. On the opposite side of the pool, something or other. Izumi-san and Kurumi are still playing with each other. Hey, if you don't cut it out, I'll get mad. Catch Kurumi if you can. Kurumi stands close by the pool's edge, egging Izumi-san on. Izumi-san, trying to catch Kurumi, begins to carefully close the distance between them. Soon enough, there, I've got you now. Izumi-san finally grabs Kurumi by her sleeve. Just then, at that exact moment, the ground suddenly begins to shake. Okay, another nuclear power plant meltdown. The calm surface of the water is disturbed by ripples that begin to violently form. A bundle of light shatters into pieces as it scatters out in all directions. By the time I notice it, it's already too late. A giant sheet of water shoots up as Izumi-san falls into the pool. Only Kurumi remains on the pool side, looking like she sacrificed Izumi-san to save herself. Is this what you call determination? Izumi-san's face, sticking out of the pool's surface, has an expression like that of a scared, stiff little kid. Suddenly, I come to my senses. On the opposite side of the pool, Izumi-san and Kurumi are playing with each other. Wait. If you don't cut... Same dialogue. There you go. It's happening again. I understand it now. This is the same thing that happened earlier. It's the same thing that happened when Haruka fell down on the beach. As I'm thinking all of this, Izumi-san begins to carefully close the distance between her and Kurumi. I quickly call out to her, "Don't do it, Izumi-san!" Izumi-san glances in my direction. However, soon enough, she looks back at Kurumi, her legs still in motion. "Izumi-san! Kurumi!" I'm trying to raise my voice even more, but it doesn't seem like either of them can hear me. This isn't working out. I have to give them a more general warning. With that, Izumi-san, an earthquake's coming! Try something. Try shouting. Hearing my words, Kurumi turns toward me. But by taking that chance... There, I've got you now. Izumi-san finally grabs Kurumi by the sleeve. I already know what's going to happen. The ground shakes, the pool ripples, and the lights fly around in random directions, but now it's too late. A giant sheet of water shoots up as Izumi-san falls into the pool. Her face emerges from the pool with a frightened look on it. Absolutely nothing has changed from what I saw. Soon enough, the ground calms down. The surface of the pool is once again still. Izumi-san has climbed out of the pool and is completely soaked from head to toe. The completely dry Kurumi and the utterly soaked Izumi-san. The sisters stare at each other's faces, and suddenly they begin to laugh. Their happy laughter feels like a testament of their relationship. Those two continue to laugh with no signs of stopping. Oh, brother. I let out a sigh and face the other side of the pool. If they continue like this, their laughter may reach the sun. Their two voices reverberate off the wall of the hotel, resounding louder and louder, and then the security comes and kicks them out. As a result, we soon hear a security guard, shouting as loud as thunder. So we all ran away back to the little beach. In the half hour we've been here, I've been thinking about that this whole time. Haruka falling down on Boob Beach, the shortage of rice, and this time the earthquake and Izumi-san falling into the pool. The earthquake's coming. No one has paid any attention to what I said back there. Right now, they're engaged in a conversation about something else entirely. For a moment, I thought the security guard would catch Izumi-san since she was falling behind. If it weren't for Haruka-san's quick thinking, we'd all be caught right now. No one else would have thought to take off that guard's hat. Normally, you wouldn't have noticed that he was wearing a wig under there either. And okay, this is just a recap of something that happened off screen. And then Haruka-san threw it into the center of the pool. I still remember the look on his face. Haruka's trying very hard not to get flustered, but her face is clearly starting to flush. Just then, "What's wrong, Makoto-kun?" Suddenly Saki says this, having noticed my change in behavior. "No, it's just... Are you thinking about something? I guess you could say that. Huh? How do I put this? Earlier, I experienced an unusual phenomenon." An unusual phenomenon? How do I explain it to them? I had a premonition. If I had to put it into a word, it was a premonition. I simply tell them this. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, I've been given the power to receive premonitions. No matter how I think about how to explain this phenomenon, the only way I can think of is how to express it is, I've been given the power to receive premonitions. Huh? Okuhiko jeers at my claim. Right, I said it earlier, didn't I? Before Izumi-san fell into the pool, I said an earthquake's coming. Ah, now that you mention it. Also, this afternoon, I somehow knew that the shop was out of rice. Right? I didn't mention this before, but I also knew Haruka was going to fall on Moon Beach. Huh? Hey, is this your idea of a joke, Ishihara? Okuhiko looks at me with a sharp, piercing glare. Or could it be that you're trying to trick us? You idiot, why would I want to do that? Why else would you say all that crap unless you had something you wanted to gain from it? In other words, you could just be mocking us for your sick entertainment. Usually, if you're trying to trick somebody, you say something to them that they would ordinarily believe. What? After all, today is April Fool's Day. I didn't know you still practiced that obsolete tradition. You're wrong, that's not it at all. This isn't an April Fool's Day joke. Yes, I get it. You clearly don't believe me. Really, I do. I'll try believing you. You also smoke, apparently. Well then, great teacher Ishihara, what premonitions have you received about tomorrow? Well, with all due respect, shouldn't you know that, teacher? In that case, what about ones regarding what will happen in 1 hour? No, in 1 minute. Could it be that you can't even receive premonitions about that? I don't think it works that way. Exactly as I thought after all. I don't mind if you want to trick us, but it's no fun if you use such a flimsy lie. That's the kind of stuff that not even a child would be fooled by. Just wait a second. I don't think he could have lied about the rice and the earthquake. Thankfully, Saki comes to my rescue. However, you're wrong, Saki-chan. This afternoon, when we first came in, what was it that you said, Kurumi-chan? I believe it was today we had a party of tourists come in for lunch. Yeah, you're right. From those words, Ishihara probably deduced they must have used up a ton of rice. Well then, what about the earthquake? That one barely needs an explanation. It's simply because the first person to notice the start of an earthquake is Ishihara. Huh? Are you trying to play dumb? Basically, when Ishihara shouted earthquake's coming, it had already started. We were all so focused on Izumi-san and Kurumi-chan's game we didn't notice. But if Ishihara wasn't, then he might have felt some light shaking that we didn't, in other words, the preliminary tremors. Naturally, if you notice the preliminary tremors, then it's simple to guess right about the arrival of the main tremor. I get it now. So that's what happened. Ishihara, wouldn't it be better for you to confess now? I say nothing. I've lost the will to. There's nothing more depressing than nobody believing you when you're telling the truth. I feel like an innocent suspect who's been accused of murder. It's like they've lost faith in me, so I guess it's fine. This still sucks. Just then. That was refreshing. Izumi-san rejoins us after finishing her shower. I have some strawberries in the fridge, would you like some? In the end, the topic of my premonitions was quickly forgotten. Jeez, why did you all come back here? Yuka enters the shop looking furious. It seems she's finally come back after getting her swimsuit from the lodge. When I went to the pool, no one was there. Look, I even went to the trouble of putting my swimsuit on. Yuka suddenly rolls her skirt up to illustrate her point. She was wearing a bikini. However, okay, Yuka-chan, as soon as Okihiro says this, blood pours out his nose. This is the first time I've ever seen a guy have a nosebleed. After that, we talk about many things. We're all chatting like the best of friends despite it only being our first meeting. After listening to everyone's fun stories, I've slowly stopped worrying about my premonitions. Well, isn't it about time we all went home? Saki brings this up as the conversation dies down. Izumi-san, aren't you taking up your time? Aren't we taking up your time? But this shop will be closed tomorrow. Don't worry about me, it's fine. Huh, really? Yes, the shop is normally closed on Tuesdays, so... Oh, if that's the case, then I've got an idea. Why don't we try going to the pool tomorrow? I want to go to the pool. The first one to agree is Haruka. That's a rare sight. Sounds like a plan, Yuka. Saki also seems eager. Makoto? I don't really care, so sure. I don't have a reason to oppose this. It's only natural, but if we're going to the pool, then everyone will likely be in their swimsuits. What about you, Okuhiko-kun? Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass. I plan to go going diving tomorrow. Diving? Yeah, there seems to be a place in the shopping district where you can rent scuba gear. You can't, Okuhiko-kun. Well, why not? I've already got my license, if that's what you're worried about. That's not it, it's because there'll be high waves tomorrow. Waves? Right, there's an unseasonable tropical cyclone coming in from the south, so it seems the waves will be high tomorrow. I heard about it from Jin-san, the fisherman, so there's no doubt about it. He complained that he wouldn't be able to go out to sea and fish because of the storm. Also, because the cyclone's migration velocity is slow, it'll be like this for about a week. What, are you sure? Izumi-san slowly nods. I was really looking forward to this. Well, forget about it then. Guess I'll be joining with you guys as well. Okuhiko reluctantly agrees. Kurumi-chan, what about you? Kurumi will also go to the pool. Kurumi? Then I'll go with you all too. Glad to hear it. Then it's decided. Yuka's in a very good mood. Then we'll meet up here tomorrow. As for now, I guess we'll call it a day and go back. Right, well then, please be careful. We say goodbye to Kurumi and Izumi-san, then leave Luna Beach. We decide to walk down Moon Beach instead of the paved road. As I am the last one to leave the shop, I follow the others from behind. At the head are Yuka and Saki, who are talking about stories from their past. Okuhiko, true to his skirt chaser nature, looks at Haruka's face again and again while attempting to strike up a conversation. Just then, I stop walking. At the beach, I come across a group of lights coming from sea fireflies. Every time the waves break, the blue lights, brighter than neon, begin to casually extend seawards. The moonlight sways on the surface of the charming black sea. The blue light's boisterous dance and swing. Okay. I feel like I could watch this forever, but as I'm staring, the others are getting farther and farther away from me. And as I stare at the sea, I start walking again. Several steps later, another source of light shines into the field of vision. It's a cold, stinging light. What is it? I stagger toward the source of the light as if it's inviting me. It's lying on top of the wave-soaked sand. I lean down to pick up the light. It's that bell. Suddenly, a shiver crawls up my spine. Goosebumps form all over my entire body, and my heart violently jumps up and down. It's impossible. This is definitely what I saw in my dream. The bell in my palm has a freezing cold metal texture. I don't know if it'll come across in the recording, but in the game background music, there's a car alarm sound. It has a light crimson string. There's no mistaking it. But why the hell is it here? I've looked at something that shouldn't have been seen. I'm captured by feelings of intense guilt. I have to hide this truth right now. Frightened to death, my body shakes as I throw the bell towards the sea. I want to quickly run away from this reality. The bell flies in the dark before it sinks into the dark ocean. My body won't stop trembling. A scene passes through my mind. The hopeless nightmare from this morning. I shake my head and erase that image from my mind. There's no way something like that will happen. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I repeat these words to myself again and again like a spell. It just happens to resemble the bell from that dream. No, even if it was the same bell, so what? There's nothing to be scared of, right? I feverishly run down the sandy beach. I can't stop. My feet are tripped up by the sand. I keep on running. The ominous ring of the bell echoes through my head. As soon as I return to my room, I crash down on the bed, crawl under the sheets, and close my eyes. I want to fall asleep right now and seeing another vision of Yuka dying. But tomorrow morning, I'll definitely forget all of this ever happened. However, the sound of my heart pounding loudly in my ears hinders me from sleeping. What if all the strange events that I've experienced today were really premonitions? If that's the case, was that dream a prophetic dream? For argument's sake, let's say that it's true. Then just who was the girl in my dream? Yuka? Haruka? Saki? Kirumi? Izumi-san? Just which one of those five was it? Saturday, April 6th. On that day, which one of them will die? I always assumed it was Yuka because she's the main girl. No! What the hell am I thinking? There's something wrong with me. I'm thinking like this just because I had 3 or 4 weird things happen to me by coincidence. Of course it's just a coincidence. Except this is a game, so it's not. Everything's nothing more than a simple coincidence. A simple coincidence. The night feels like an eternity. I finally fall asleep as dawn approaches. First day. Okay, time to save the game. So that's as far as I've previously seen of this story. So from this point forward, it'll be blind. That's it.